Is it rolling?
Keep it rolling, Sammy.
What's up, guys? We are out at a state park near our house, and we wanted to show you a little bit about how we go camping. When I first started camping, growing up with my dad, going out with my grandpa's uncles, stuff like that, I always tent camped. It wasn't until I came across this guy that I started camping in hammocks. So today we wanted to show you how we set up our hammocks, or rather Fenris is going to show you how he sets up his hammock. If you guys have any questions, you can post them in the comments below, but stay tuned. It should be a really good show. Bam! Bam! Yeah.
Never do anything around here, can I? Alright, so a lot of people have these big, expensive hammocks that are heavy with a lot of bug netting and all kinds of other stuff on them. I'm a lot more simple than that, not just mentally, but with what I carry as well. So I use a really lightweight system. It's from Eno. It's called a double nest hammock because I'm big. Fits me a lot better. Even a lot of smaller people will get the double nest so that they can spread out sideways or make it a little bit more comfortable, but I use an Eno double nest hammock and just a simple nylon tarp, and that's pretty much what I make my shelter out of. It works a lot better in the warmer months, unless you're going to carry under quilts and all kinds of other stuff that goes along with it, but we're not going to get down that rabbit hole. We can talk a little bit about convection today and raising your hammock higher or lower depending on the temperature and the wind. So let's get into the basic setup and we'll go from there. Alright, so I use basic 1-inch nylon tubular webbing. We used it a lot when I was a climbing instructor, and that's what I make my hammock straps out of. I keep about a 25-foot roll. Now you can cut that in half. Usually I'll just leave it whole, and I'll do 2 of those. That way I can adjust depending on the tree span between the 2 of them. So I'll take this, I'll fold it in half like so, just take a bite out of it, and I'll do just a simple overhand knot. And this will hold more than enough weight. I think this nylon webbing is rated for 4,500 or 5,000 pounds, somewhere in there. So after I've got that loop done, what I can do is I can come around my tree here, pass the tag in through that loop, and I've got one side completely ready to go. I can go as higher as I want, high or low as I want with that. Keep it straight, cinch down, and you're good to go there. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie my carabiners in so that I can attach the hammock to the webbing itself. And the way I'm going to do that, hopefully you guys can see me, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to put it right here on top, I'm going to spin upside down like so, reach through that loop, and grab the webbing. So I'll do that one more time. Take my hand right here, grab the webbing, I'm going to flip it over like so, go through that loop, and I'm going to grab that inner piece. I'll take my carabiner, I'll clip in there, and I'll just cinch tight. Now what you've basically done is created a slip knot there. In order for that slip knot not to go anywhere, I'll take another loop, and I'll basically just do a half hitch. Just like so. Now if you don't know what a half hitch is, we can do separate videos on that, but just for ease and simplicity, we'll just call it a half hitch. Put this tag in back through, and another half hitch. There is no way that that's going anywhere. You could hang off that all day long. Alright, so I unwrapped my hammock. I'm going to clip my slings into both sides, put it over my neck so that I don't drag it on the ground. Grab this other side here. And the reason I like doing it this way is you can adjust those loops to fit however long of trees you're between. So if that distance is greater, you can just move those loops in and out. If it's less, you can move them the other way. So I'll just clip this right on here onto my hammock. And the other thing I have on here is these adjustable slings. Like so, and I can decrease the tension on that. Get right in there. So that I'm adjusting the whole thing as I'm going. It's super quick, super simple to set up. You always want to make sure your head height, or the side that your head's on, is a lot higher than the side that your feet are on. You're going to wake up with one heck of a headache in the morning. Now you can see I set it up a little bit higher because it's not very cold out here, and I don't have to worry about that convection. coming underneath. If it was cold, I'd be a lot lower to the ground so that I could reduce that convection, and I'd take my tarp and I'd run that all the way to both sides of the ground. So I usually clean this stuff up a little bit, tie it up so that it's not hanging down, but we won't do that here. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our tarp. So this is what I use for my ridgeline. It's a piece of 550 cord, and there's some bank line tied to it on pressic knots. So I can do another video or whatever on a pressic knot if you guys don't know what that is. If not, there's a ton of videos on YouTube. I take that bank line and I tie 2 pressic knots so that I can self-adjust my tarp. Ready? So on this end I have a loop. I'm going to bring this around the tree just like I did with the other loops for the hammock itself. Pass this main tag in right through the inside of that loop. Just like so, and this is going to self-tension onto the tree, just like that. I'm going to head over to the other side and tie it off just like we did the last one. Alright, so I'm going to do a self-tensioning knot on this one, just so that I can adjust how tight this is, and I don't have to worry about cinching one side down and worrying about a whole bunch of different knots. So I'm going to go over the top, I'm going to come through this little spot right here, and I'm going to do that twice. 1, do it one more time. 2, I'm going to go right across the outside like so, and I'm going to come back in through this loop right here, and I hope you guys can see this and follow along. 1 and 2. What this is a one-sided pressic knot. Just like that, okay? And what I can do is I can tension this out, tension out, and tighten that down. Good to go, just like so. If you want it loose, pull back on this side. You want it tight, pull on that side. Self-tightens. Alright, there's a million ways to tie up your tarp depending on the situation. Usually in summer camping, the quickest and easiest way that I've found, grab a little stick here for a toggle. I'm going to take the corner in, I'm going to put it right up here. I'm going to take this corner in, put it up here. I'm going to take my loop I made before, run that right through there, and use a toggle. I ain't going to go nowhere. Go all the way down to this other side over here. So I'm going to take that end of my pressic knot, I'm going to pass it right through there, open that up, put my toggle right through that loop. Good to go. Now I can tighten this up just like so, and it self-tightens. All right, I'm going to hammer. Tomahawk. I'm going to go ahead and stake down the back side. Now you don't have to do the front side if you don't want to. I'll give you shade from the back depending on what direction you're facing, but if you want it more open, you can leave the front unflapped and fold it over. If you want it more closed, all you got to do is grab that front side, fold it over the top of your ridge line, like so, and run this stake right here down into the ground and hook it on. That. Straight down here. Just like so. Now that's going to block a lot of wind on both sides with both sides hammered in. You should be plenty good enough, especially here in Southern California. 3, sometimes even 4 seasons. So super quick setup. It takes down just as easily.
So one of the concerns that I had when I first went out, very first time I ever set up a hammock with Fenris and a tarp just like this, was that I wasn't sure if this was going to be able to stop all the weather, but I was really surprised. We got stuck in a hailstorm. We were in the middle of Utah. It was freezing rain, hail all night long, coming in from all directions, and I stayed dry and I stayed warm. I was really super surprised. The other thing I thought was really cool is I was able to take my socks and my boots and hang them on the inside of this ridge line right here, so the next morning when I woke up, I had dry socks and dry boots, and they hung right there. I was able to dip my butt in my hammock, take off my socks and shoes, take off my socks and boots, hang them right from the ridge line, either up top or on bottom, throw all my clothes right at the bottom of my hammock where I slept, or you can ball them up and use them for a pillow if you're not going to sleep in them. I was really hot. It was super cold. It was hail, it was rain, and I was burning up. You can ask Fenris. I have a little bit different of a hammock setup. I'm a little spoiled, so I got a bug netting, and I was hanging out of that bug netting all night long because it was so hot in there. It was crazy. Don't have an underquill, don't have an overquill. Had a military sleep system. Couldn't even sleep in it because it was so hot. These things are amazing. Best night's sleep I've ever had.
And if you kiss me, you can say goodbye. And even though we aren't exactly like mirrors, you love this boy from a small town. I didn't say it to make you kiss me. I didn't say it 'cause I want your pity. I wanna fight, I wanna drink, I wanna live. When I get older, I'll lock up things.
Alright guys, that's it. Simple as that.
Alright guys, so give you an idea real quick at how small these things pack down. The hammock and the tarp, right here. So if you wanted to throw this in a little pack, or you were just going on a quick hike, you had a scarf or a shemag with you, you guys can throw it in here. Tie it to yourself. Like I said, if your pack was already full, or you had some water and some food and stuff, you wanted to head out, simple as that. I guess it's still rolling.
Keep it rolling, Sammy.
Roll on one. Walking a mile. Oh! That was right on the tip. You said hit the nuts. Damn. We should just do a video montage of us hitting each other in the nuts.
We kind of did. Didn't get a whole lot of views,
Maybe it did get it done. Alright guys, so one of the reasons why we came out here is because we were talking to a couple buddies of ours and they were interested in how Fenris uses this webbing to tie up his hammock. I had some other questions on hammock camping. I was very skeptical about hammock camping, was I not, at the very beginning?
I'm not sleeping in a hammock.
Right, but you made a believer out of me. So that's pretty much all I do now is hammock camping. Family goes out, they camp in a tent, and I hammock camp. And we're slowly but surely converting the kids and the wife to hammock camping as well. Some of the things I really like about it, guys, super lightweight. You're not having to pack a bunch of poles. It's not taking up a ton of space. If you're the backpacking type of person, you're gonna be going out on a trek, long hikes and stuff like that, especially if there's gonna be trees, you should really consider hammock camping. If you have issues with it being cold, like you talked about, what, convection? Lowering that hammock down, or maybe even getting an underquill. They're super lightweight, they're like goose down.
Yep.
So they pack really tight as well. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. If you haven't already liked and shared our page, do it if you guys like these videos.
We want to keep doing it, and if we don't get the support, we can't keep doing it. So we have a lot of fun, that's for dang sure.
That's true. Guys, thanks for watching, and as always, stay savage.
Home now, as home as I'll ever be. Oh, closer.